okay? So custodians now, I mean, people in either the social network you find yourself, maybe religious institutions. I'm not talking about prophecy. I'm not going to talk about those sort of stuff. I'm talking about what, people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. Maybe you go to the club to do some sporting activities, or maybe you go out to an activity place and, coaches, trainers, managers, what do they say about you? That is how you begin to realize your capabilities. You could find out that you could work as a volunteer somewhere, and they say, oh, do you realize that you're so good when it comes to organizational skills? Oh, do you know that when it comes to administration, you can do it so well? And you don't pay attention to that. But that is how you know the capabilities you're born with. These things sometimes happen accidentally that you get to find out. It could be that one day you're just somewhere and the person who's supposed to do the main task is not there, and they say, oh, we need a volunteer, and you just put your hand up and you go in there and they say, oh, you did that so well. Don't ignore it. It's something to pay attention to. That is one of the ways, some of the ways you know the capabilities you were born with. Now, here are some questions that you can ask yourself to know about these capabilities you were born with. What do I enjoy doing in life? There are about 20 questions, but we're not going to be exhaustive enough to go through those 20 questions. What do I enjoy doing in life? What task gives me fulfillment and satisfaction each time I accomplish them? What subjects do I really enjoy in life? Could be topics. Some people love studying nature. Some just love studying things about birds, like I love studying nature a lot. What subjects have I excelled in? What stuff do I do effortlessly without many promptings and reminders? What I mean by effortlessly here, it doesn't mean that there's no hard work in it. There is hard work, but it doesn't really, you don't look at it as that hard work because you actually enjoy it. And you don't sometimes get prompted about it or even reminded about it. Now, what do people say about me? Here we're talking about people skills and hard skills. What skills do people commend me on? During your different performance appraisals, what has come out as your strengths and areas that you've excelled in? And what areas, again, have been targeted for further development? What areas prop up as either meeting or exceeding targets during self-evaluation? That's you evaluating yourself now. In terms of personal, social, spiritual, and professional life, people here I'm referring to could be family, friends, colleagues at work, social places, church, mosque, temples, social platforms. Now, there are a lot more questions, but these are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself. I call it doing a self-audit, where you just sit and do an audit on yourself in order to be able to know the areas. These are some of the ways of finding out about your capabilities. Now, there are two major factors that affect your direction in life. One is the innate, one is your environment. Two powerful factors affect the direction you want to take in life. Now, by innate, I mean deep down you. What would you like to become? It's something that is driven from inside. Then the second one is environment. Based on the environment where you find yourself, how does this influence what you would like to become? So innate is deep down. It's just way down driven. And then the environment you find yourself is a big contributory factor as well. The environment can either nourish that, enhance that, or inhibit that. We'll see more on that. Now, so those two factors are going to give you the picture of what you would want to be in life. You have to see it clearly. Now, that's where the trouble is. We have not spent time to socialize ourselves with these things in order to be able to see this picture very clearly. We have not. So you have to spend time with yourself, socialize time with yourself, familiarize these things with yourself, think on these questions, search yourself. It's not something that's going to take a day. It might take a day, might take a week, weeks, months, to find out, what do I really want for myself in life? That's very crucial, very important. Don't overlook that. Don't think that it's something that's just going to be boom, 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 boom. No. And then you have to research all the information you need to be where you want to be. Thank God for things like internet now. All the things we need is at our fingertips. Resource people, people who've been in that area before, have a chat, book an interview, talk to them, send them emails, media, etc. And after that, you get a roadmap. This is very important. It doesn't mean when you get a roadmap, everything will go as you plan it, but you must have something in place. That roadmap will act as a GPS for you. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and milestones to check up, this is what I should have achieved by the first year, second year, should have achieved this, third year, should have achieved this, mapped against time. Because time has to be a friend in as much as time is an enemy. And then we go back to the big question. How does your environment support this dream, this ambition, this thing you want to be? The environment is quite important as well, you see. Okay, now it takes us now to this 2 W's that I picked on earlier on in that video I presented, okay? Now, don't forget, at this point in time, it is assumed that you have seen the image clearly in your mind. After socializing yourself, okay, with what you want to be, you can see clearly, you can feel it, you can touch it, you can taste it, you can hear it, you smell it, you breathe it, you dream it. It's a part and parcel of you. You are united now with what you want to be. So the 2 W's coming now, which I talked to those young people in that video we watched earlier on, which is walk into it and work into it. You have to walk deliberately. Now, this is a deliberate act now. You walk into it and you work into it. This is when things like hard work comes in. This is when things like perseverance, persistence come in. But you know that you're in the right direction. So you're not persisting in the wrong direction. You're not persevering in the wrong direction. You see, it's something that you've seen the image clearly and you are fused with it. So you're just walking into it and working your way into it, knowing that, you know what? It's just a matter of time. Time is a friend. All right. Now, these are the qualities you need to arm yourself with in this quest, in this journey. A few buzzwords that we all are familiar with, things like adaptability, especially we're living in the 21st century, digital age, things have changed, things have turned around. Adaptability, flexibility. You cannot afford to be turgid. You cannot afford to be rigid. Curiosity to learn. Learn, reskill yourself, upskill yourself. Those are new buzzwords coming into play now. Reskill yourself. Sometimes you need to reskill yourself. Sometimes you need to upskill yourself. So that curiosity to learn is a very predominant factor. Always wanting to learn new stuff to keep yourself in the space. Researching skills. You got to learn how to research. Go out there, look for information. Even knowing the right place to look for information is a key skill you have to develop too. You want to do something, where do you go to? You can go and ask Mr. Google, ask Siri, ask friends, ask loved ones, talk to people in that industry, look for information. Then you got to be resilient, because every step you make could come with bumps and hindrances and obstacles and things like that. You got to be resilient. You're not just going to say, you know what, I give up. Maybe it's not for me. No, you got to be resilient. And then you got to have a strategy to achieve that. It's always good to be strategic in life. And one of the last qualities I've put here is being reflective. Reflection here is sitting down at the end of the day. What I mean at the end of the day, it could be at the end of the term, whatever time frame you give yourself, to reflect on your successes and failures because the failures are supposed to be the stepping stone to lead you to the next step in life. So you got to sit back, reflect. How did I do in this goal I tried to achieve within this time frame? Did I achieve it? I didn't achieve it. So what should I do? Maybe I need to go for some more courses. I need to talk with some more people to help me do what I need to do. It's very important. Okay. Now, here is what I want us to look at very quickly as the greatest takeaway. Man is equipped for success. That I cannot overemphasize this fact. Man is equipped for success. Every human being, man, woman. When I use man here, I'm not trying to sound sexist, but it's man, woman, is equipped for success. And you need to know your strengths in life. You have to discover yourself. You have to spend time with yourself. And sometimes it is through very simple assignments, tasks, and tough times that you actually discover yourself. So sometimes when you go through a tough time, don't think it's a bad thing. It's not really a bad thing. It's a moment for you to discover yourself more, socialize yourself more. Because when everything is going hunky-dory, you don't know the strength you've got. You don't. But tough times bring out the strength in you, the resilience in you, the opportunities for you to dig more into yourself. Sometimes what you know is your outward strength. You don't even know your inward strength. It's like an egg. When you get an egg, the egg, you break open the shell. You have the white part, we call the albumin. Then you go beyond that, you go into the yolk. The yolk of the egg, which is the yellow part, is actually the DNA. So you want to know about yourself. That's where your real true self is. What you see outward is not your true self. But once you break that skin open, you go into the albumin, then you move into, that's when you know who you are. Sometimes people see what you are, they don't know who you are. The real you lays outside. So move outside, beyond what you can see on the outside. That's when you can know the real you. Now, here is the roadmap, okay? We all know this. Bus stop 1, bus stop 2, mapped against time that I talked about. And of course, this is the finish line. Question is there any finishing line in life? Probably not. But for every goal, for every objective that you have set for yourself, that's the finishing line. So that's the roadmap. How do you intend to go? You can see here that this roadmap is not exactly a straight line graph. It's something that goes, you take a turn, you take a curve, you take a bend, and you keep going till you get to it. It's very important you have a roadmap. It's very, very important. Okay. Now, we're going to spend the next few minutes in hearing from you in terms of questions, in terms of comments, in terms of contributions, in terms of what you think about this being equipped for success. The idea is to make it, we're supposed to make it very concise so that we can now have time for interactions. So if you have any question you want to ask, 2 ways about it. Either you type it in the chat or you unmute yourself and then you ask the question and we take it from there.
Awesome stuff. The roadmap is always something that amazes me and something that I love to hear and talk about. Right. Does the duck also, whilst you were studying the duck, is there anything you got to learn about roadmaps with ducks?
Yes. Very good question, William. Very, very good question. Now, I find out that the duck, the roadmap they have is, first of all, being in the herd community when they're born. So they are in that family. And it is in that family that they discover their strengths. They watch the dada, the mama, and the siblings, what they do, and they follow suit. That's when they know the times and seasons to migrate, the time to go on land, the time not to go on land, the time to go in the water, the time not to go in the water, the time they should swim, the time they should not swim and just glide in the water. So when you see, for example, the duck on the water, it looks gracious, but underneath, you find out that the feet, there's a lot of footwork going on there. And if you look at their feet, it is also webbed, which means that it's adapted for swimming. Not every bird can do that, what they do. So that's when they learn their capabilities. So that's their roadmap. So they watch how their parents operate and they follow suit until the time when they are also on their own. I don't know whether that answers your question to some extent.
Yep, it does. We've got a question from, you've got your hands raised. Go for it.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. I just want to say a big thank you to Uwemana, and to also say, good evening to everyone in the house. I think I came in a bit late, but I think I got quite a number of what was said. For me, I think the environmental factor is one strong factor that decides your roadmap, okay? How your roadmap is designed and how you go about marshalling out whatever you're going to do in terms of achieving whatever you want to achieve. So I do not know, is there any way you could, like drivers? If I live in Africa, for instance, I live in Nigeria, and if I look at a young man who is 25 years, or let's say 20, who lives in the United States, and a young man who's 20 who lives in Nigeria, the two of them are of the same age. The question is, how do I talk to a young man in Nigeria to say, yes, these are your odds, you can overcome them? And then if he has to have an interaction with a young man in America, where a lot of things are made available to him, how does he cohabit? How does he put it together? And that is why we have what we call the brain drain from Africa today back to the United States, because everybody thinks we've lost hope. We've lost hope here. So, how do we re-engineer drive to tell young people here in Nigeria or in Africa, wherever it may be, that it is possible to do something out of this whole very, very stringent environment, very tough environment? I don't know, because I know clearly that whatever I'm going to do in Africa, if I was 25 years old, and whatever somebody is doing in the United States or even in the UK will be totally different. So, if I'm in this lecture
okay, just a minute, you're breaking.
How do I tell a young man, okay, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this? Because he has a question, he has a problem for every solution that I advance. Yeah. Oh, really? Can you hear me now?
Yes, you are breaking. So you've asked your question.
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
Okay. Thanks very much for that question, Matthew. Thank you.
Very well. Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, the question you've asked is a very important question. Again, remember, I did say two things: innate and environment. Now, you've pushed onto the environment. Now, I see the environment actually as a pedestal, as an opportunity to bring out the best in you. That's what I see. Every stumbling block in life, every challenge we have in life is always an opportunity to bring out the best in you. That is when innovation comes in. That is when inventiveness comes in. That is when thinking comes in. That is when you find out that you see it as an opportunity to overcome the challenge. You see, when there is no way out, you find out that the only way out is to look for a way out. And that is what I see, because don't forget that it's not only Africa that's disadvantaged. You have other parts of the world, even in Europe, a lot of people are disadvantaged as well, although in different degrees and different parameters. But it is a way to look at how. Let me give you a very simple example. In Africa, in Nigeria, power supply is epileptic. Okay, power supply is epileptic. Now, how that's an opportunity to generate power, thinking of the waste we have We don't have an efficient waste management system. How can that waste be even collected? The gases that come out of the waste to generate power. These are the things that if we sat down and thought about it carefully, that's what I talked earlier on about thinking skills, okay? Every challenge we meet in life is an opportunity to be innovative, to be creative, to think out a solution. That's when I also talked about resilience. Will it be easy? Not really easy, but it is doable. It is doable because we need to arm ourselves with resilience, and we can do it. Hello, Matthew. Hello.
I think
he's frozen or something.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Okay. Okay.
Any addition? There was a question. Please, what did you ask him to do? I've been trying to achieve this for a while. That was in relation to the video.
Sorry, I didn't get that, William.
It says, in relation to the video, when you ask the young man to walk into it and work into it.
Yeah.
The question that came out of that was, what did you ask the young man to do? And the person says they've been trying to achieve this for a while, maybe sharing the same information to their 18-year-old. What did you tell the young man to do?
Right. The young man, it was actually the young man's birthday, and I was invited to give a speech. Now, this young man is an outstanding academic person who also wants to be a professional basketball player. Now, these two, and he's living in a country, he's living in England, where basketball is not exactly what I would say the in thing here compared to the United States. Now, for 1 full year, this young man used to go out and train by himself. He didn't have a club. He didn't have any supporter. He didn't have nobody to support him. He used to go to the basketball court and train all by himself. Until 1 year after, just imagine 1 year of training on your own via YouTube. He goes to YouTube, he watches things, he goes to the court every day. And one day, his daddy took him somewhere and they went out to play basketball. And his daddy's friend said, this boy is a talent. We can't waste him. And that was when his breakthrough came. Now, here is the thing. The young boy did not give up. He could have given up with so many excuses like, I live in England. I don't have a club. I don't have someone supporting me. I don't have anybody to do this for me. I don't have any. No, he didn't give up. So you see the innate drive, that inner drive drove him. The environment wasn't exactly that supporting, but he didn't give up until finally he had the breakthrough. He's now playing for a club. And even in considering his university placement, he's looking for a university that will support him in that dream as well. So I told him, walk into that future he wants to be, and then work into it. So I would imagine that would answer the question that that person asks now.
Any questions from anyone?
Then type it in the chat or unmute yourself and ask the question.
I think it's been a very reflective session, so people are still reflecting on it. Could you go a few slides back, just after the roadmap? I think you take us, yeah. One more? Yeah. So in discovering yourself, is there any skills or is there anything that anyone can do to spend some time to be able to discover themselves and to know themselves more? Because it sometimes looks like the things that will give you money could be the hardest things to do. But sometimes your passion is not what's going to give you money. So what do you do in that instance?
Okay.
And then let's go to the roadmap slide as you answer the question, please.
Okay, now there are two, you've asked about 2-3 questions in one question there, Kwame, yeah, which is okay, yeah. First of all, your passion is inner, is driven from inward, yeah, the innate factor now. Now, it is true that your passion may not give you income straight away. It is true, it may not give you income straight away, but it will in the long run. It will. You have to develop that resilience. You have to pay the price. You have to wait. You have to work at it, and you have to keep walking into it. But in the interim, you have to have something that meets your needs on a day-to-day basis. Because you need to be able to feed yourself. You need to be able to clothe yourself. You need to be able to take care of yourself. So you have to just do something in the interim. You have to keep sowing. But the bigger picture is that thing. So you keep your eye. That is why we say you have to have that roadmap. So if you look at here, the roadmap, you see it's filled up with bends, curves, twists and turns. Now, it may not even be this way that we've seen it here. You see, it could come in different shapes and manner, okay? If something can happen to completely even take you off the roadmap, but the most important thing is that you got to be strategic about it. You have to set time frames for yourself. You have to constantly evaluate your successes, evaluate yourself. That thing that I want to achieve, okay? How do I go about it? The time I set for it, then reflect the successes I had, the failures I had. Was it because I was not committed enough? Was it because I didn't do enough research? Was it because I didn't talk to people, the progenitors, those who have gone on that pathway before? It's like wanting to go into professional football. You need to talk to people who have been on that pathway before. What challenges did they meet? If you're coming from a disadvantaged continent like in Africa, what situations did these people like Okocha them go through? Talking to them, asking them questions could help you so that you then use that to form your roadmap. That's one of the questions you ask, you see? So that roadmap, you're going to be strategic about it.
We've got TT. I've got a question in the chat box. If TT asks, we'll look at the question in the chat box.
Okay.
Okay. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, for an amazing session. Apologies that I logged in late. I just wanted to make a comment, and so I totally agree with the fact that if you have a passion about something, it doesn't mean that you should give up, and that sometimes your passion is not the one that feeds you. So I would use myself as an example. And the young man, the gentleman who mentioned about Nigeria or Africa. So I have a passion to set up children's centers all over Nigeria. So I've been doing my research on the side in terms of, trying to reach out to local communities, see how, we can set up children's center and implement Every Child Matters. But at the same time, my career, I have like a plan because I do not have the enough funds and finances. So I realized that I have to set up a foundation. So it's all in the process and on the side. So my main point is that true, sometimes your passion may not feed you. And like you mentioned, that roadmap is very, very important in terms of, so my passion is still there. My dreams, my aspirations is still there. I'm not going to give up on that. But at the same time, I have to find another roadmap. I mean, a way to feed myself. And that's the reason why I'm even in line. I'm doing something about my career in London, ensuring that whatever it is I'm doing, I'm able to make ends meet. So it's just a comment to say, yes, thank you so much for the insight. So it kind of makes me nod my head to say I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing. I'm making the right steps. So yes, thank you very much. So that, like you mentioned earlier about opportunities, looking for things, problems whereby every man is set up for success, whereby creativity comes in. I saw one of the videos recently about a lady who was recycling tires, and she was using these tires to make like sofas, like chairs, like decorative things. She recycles things. And this is something that it's a problem in Africa, whereby even the recycling industry or sector, it's not fully refined. So she's now reaching out through different avenues whereby people can sponsor her. So it's about all of us, you know, and I know that when you haven't fulfilled something, there's something disturbing your heart to say, yes, there's still more to be done. There's still more to be done. So the point is, let everyone never give up and continue to take little steps, making sure you evaluate, you reflect, what success have I achieved today? What have I done? What more can I do? What can I do better? Okay, yes, I've done this. It's now time for me to move on to the next. You know, it's like moving in a parallel kind of thing. That's in my own position and situation. That's why I'm saying parallel, because I know I've got two paths, you know, that I'm working towards a particular thing. So let every one of us not give up. And I do really appreciate this session. It's an amazing one. So thank you so much for the little insights, you know, that I've learned from the time I logged on. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Titi.
Titi.
You adding to TT's, what do you think of an agile approach rather than a roadmap with an endpoint?
Very, very good question. Agile is, number one, about continual improvement, continual reflection. That's one of the things about agile. Continual reflection. What went well? What can I add? Is actually agile is a mindset, which is having this mindset for continual improvement, readjustment, adjusting, readjusting, because life is very dynamic. The values we had yesterday, the needs of yesterday are different from the needs of today. When I was a young boy growing up, going to the banking industry, we used to go with what they call a pass book, a little book. If you put money in the bank, they write there how much you put in the bank. When you withdraw the money from the bank, they write physically how much you've taken out. But I'm sure the children of today would not even know what a passbook is, except they go to the museum or something. Now, you cannot have that approach today. The approach today is everything is gone digitalized, online banking. So that is the agile mindset, keeping yourself open to improvement, continual improvement. That's why I talked earlier on about reskilling, upskilling, reskilling, upskilling. And it's one of the pillars, one of the of today's world, curiosity to learn. That's an agile mindset.
Thank you, thank you. We've got, is it Bless? We've got a few minutes and we would like to take all the questions. So Bless and Dinah, if you make your questions short so that UM can hit the nail on the head when you ask them. So let's start with Bless.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Wem, for this wonderful presentation. I've been here sitting here listening to you, and it's been very interesting. And for myself, I'm a very believer that everyone has that in them to succeed, all they need to succeed. But then we see a lot of people, more particularly about maybe close family relatives or friends that we know very well, who, we know they can do certain things, like you mentioned in your slide that, what you say about people, maybe as family members, okay, this person's got talent, can do so much. And then you see they don't make good use of it. And all you get is excuses upon excuses upon excuses from them, And my question here is, how do we help these people overcome all of these excuses so that they can see it themselves, that they've got what it takes to really succeed and do very well?
All right. Thanks very much, Bless. Oh, now we have the popular saying that you can take a horse to the river, but you can't force a horse to drink water. Okay. You can do your very best to, you just do what you got to do. What do you have to do? Oh, you know what? I think you're good with admin. I think you're good with organizational skills. And you try to be strategic. You put one strategy down to help them, deliberately to help them. Eventually, at the end of the day, if they don't own up to ownership, to responsibility, there's nothing you can do about that. They're not ready for it. They're not. You cannot force it on people. A time will come that they will realize it. It might be late, but better late than never. But you cannot force it on people. You cannot. You can try your best, be strategic, but you cannot. They've got to come to that point of owning it. And people don't want to be accountable in life. You have to hold yourself accountable. You have to own yourself. You have to hold yourself responsible for your actions in order to be able to succeed. Right.
Dina or Dina, go ahead.
Dina, yeah, Dina, thank you. Thank you very much, Owen, for this lovely presentation.
Thank you.
I just have a quick question on purpose and passion. Is there a difference between purpose and passion, or is purpose driven by passion? The reason why I'm asking this is because I think you can have a lot of areas that you're passionate about, but that might not be your purpose in life.
Yes, Dina, I think you've asked the question. You've also answered the question. You see, yeah, there's so many things you might be passionate about. There's so many things you might be passionate about which may not be your purpose. When you hone into your purpose in life, that is like the bull's eye. Now, yeah, it's the bull's eye. You've zeroed in. Boom, that's my purpose in life. Nothing can deviate you from your purpose. Everything is going to add up to that, your purpose in life. But there's so many things you could be passionate about. You see, you could be passionate about playing golf. You could be passionate about this. You could be passionate about that. That's okay. But the purpose is bull's eye. I don't know whether that answers your question. It's the bull's eye now.
Right. So would you say that purpose would actually build your income?
Now, you and your purpose cannot be separate. It would. I would say that it would. There's no way it would. Now, when we talk about income here, I think the first thing that comes to people's mind is always money.
Yeah.
You see, there's so much wealth, intellectual wealth is part of is income. You see, you could have properties, it's still income. So wealth is distributive. You see, you could even have ideas that people buy from you.
Who is that?
We always look at these things from the angle of money. But there's so many wealth you can create and generate, which could be in the form of ideas. You can patent it. Yeah. Go into partnership with people, into collaboration with people. So it's just that, of course, we cannot exhaust all this in one session. There's so many things, diverse ways we can create and generate wealth, which is connected to the purpose in life.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks for answering that.
Thank you.
I know there's one more hand up, but we are on the hour.
Can we take that quickly?
Okay, let's go for it.
Right.
Go for it, and please let's wrap it so we can fit into the hour.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was actually going to respond to, I think it was Bless O. She asked a very, very important question about family members and people, friends who are close to us, who we assume or we feel have all the potentials and they're not doing well. And Owen responded by saying that you can do your best, but if they're not just willing, then there's nothing you can do. My perspective to that actually is that I've seen in a whole lot of situations where when we try to assist people to get out of a particular situation, we most times want to assist them from our own perspective without looking at their own perspective. So what I have decided to do sometimes is I want to sit down with such people and find out from them, from a very polite point, as to what they actually want. I have seen people who tell me I wanted to assist my younger brother, I wanted him to do this, and then he says, no, he doesn't want to do this, he's not organized. And then when I sit down with the younger brother, I realize that the younger brother has a different idea of what he wants to do. So the elder brother wants to help him from his own perspective, and that becomes a problem. So sometimes when we want to solve these issues, we must make sure that we're assisting people from their own point of view. It's more successful at that level. Thank you.
That's a very important point you've raised there, Matt. Trust me, that's a very important point you've raised there, which is from their perspective. From their perspective. Again, it takes us back to the earlier slides that we talked about, which is discovering the people's strengths, discovering the people's capabilities. So you can only help people from their capability angle.
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
from your angle. I'm not going to help you
Yeah.
from my, I'm not going to help you from my angle. Say, be a writer,
Yeah.
be an agilist, be an emerging voice, be a writer.
Yeah.
No, it's from
Yeah.
your angle. Yeah. So that's a very
Yeah.
important point. Thanks for that, Matt.
No, it's okay. Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone, for joining Enrich Your Minds session. It's been wonderful. It's been enriching. The roadmap has been thrown out to all of us. The DAC, we are all reminded of what the capabilities of the DAC is. And we will look forward to a third session. And I know UM has got something peppered up for us when we hear about Equip Yourself for Success Part 3. So for everyone who's joined, your voice has added so much to the conversation. And as we reflect, ponder, let's send all our questions to UM. He'll be more than happy to answer them. And if you've got a particular topic you want UM to cover, send it to him and he will do that. UM, always a pleasure and a wonderful presentation and knowledge share. Let's have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, UM.
Thank you very much, William. Thank you, everybody, for joining us with us. Thank you very much. It's been a great time and have a fantastic weekend. Hook up with me. Have any question? Hook up with me. I'll be willing to take that on. Thank you and thank you and thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
William, can we have some jazz music while people are logging off, please?
And good to see you, Esther. Good to see your face.
Good to see you. Are you seeing me?
Yeah, I can see you very well. Can you see
But
me?
I don't see. Oh, yeah, I see you now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I
Quite some
see you
time,
now.
really. Good to catch up
Yeah.
with you. So
Who
how are
is
the
this?
children?
I
This is Matthew.
Oh, Matthew. We are doing good. Look like I came in late. I thought it was 12
Yeah,
o'clock.
yeah,
I
you
didn't know
did,
it
you
was
did.
11. It's
No, it's
11.
okay. Actually, yeah, you're right. You're right. Thank you so much.
Supposed to be
Thank you.
11,
Thank
yeah.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Okay.
too.
Thank you. All right. So, Owen, thank you for your time. Thank you for your presentation. It was good to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Esther,
yes.
thank you. Listen, Esther,
Hi.
listen up, man. When we
Nice
give
to-
time, look at it. It's the UK time, not American time.
I know.
Okay?
I thought it was 12. But anyway, next time I'm logging at 11.
Okay, no worries. All right, take care. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
UM, have
Yes,
a
sir.
wonderful evening. And
Thanks very much, William.
Are you
Thank
see you
you.
all soon. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody who joined us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Nice one, bro.
Thank you. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.